Upper East Side, and had a wonderful experience with my granddaughter Jenny. She showed me what it's like to be part of a 30-odd-year-old group when she invited me to be a bridesmaid at her recent wedding. I met her friends and I took part in the wedding. It's an important part of the wedding. The most important part is the fact that she thought enough of her grandmother to have her be with her friends. And it was something that I had never imagined I would be part of. I was never a bridesmaid when I was younger, and I didn't have any bridesmaids at my wedding. And this was an utter revelation to me. I just can't thank her enough for showing me that there's another part of life besides what I had always done.
Can you describe your relationship with Jenny?
Well, she lived in Denver. I lived in Manhattan. I live in Manhattan, and it depended upon our trips out there. My husband and I skied. We would go out there 4 or 5 times during the winter. We would see her, and we would all ski together, her family and my husband and myself. We celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary there, where all 16 of us went skiing, and that was our get-together, and it was absolutely wonderful. Jenny is a very unusual person. She's bright and thoughtful and caring and interested in people's lives. When she came here to dinner on a Friday night, she would say, "Grandma, how was your week?" That was the first thing she said. She was always cared about how things were going and what I did. And she came from the West Side, and she would jog here just to get her exercise in and not waste any time. And she was just she's just a wonderful person, and I'm so happy that she is in my life.
And can you talk about, if you can try to remember, so we're cutting my voice out, so if you could try to repeat my question in your answers. So if I say, what did you have for breakfast? It's not cereal, it's for breakfast, I had cereal, kind of thing. Can you talk about how she asked you to be a bridesmaid?
She called me up on the phone and she said, "Grandma, would you consider being a bridesmaid at my wedding?" And I thought for a minute and I said, what a wonderful invitation this is, and what a way for her to show her caring for a family member, particularly an older family member. And it took me 30 seconds to say, yes, I would love to.
Wonderful. One more. Oh my gosh, it looks so great.
Which I did. And we got instructions as to who to walk with down the aisle. I walked with a brother of John's and a friend of his, and it was very nice. I tried to to be careful walking down the aisle. I didn't want to trip down. And then I just socialized. And the interesting part was that John's father had some surgery recently, and he was on crutches, and he asked me to dance with him, and we danced together, and it was really very interesting. So it was, and there were wonderful people there. His family is great, and her family is terrific, and all my children went, and one of the grandchildren brought his daughter. That was Laurie's granddaughter at the age of 3 months, and of course she didn't partake in the wedding, but she did come.
And can you just say again, say like my name, I'm this years old and I was a bridesmaid in my granddaughter's wedding, just so I have that.
My name is Lila LeBlanc. I am 88 years old, and I was a bridesmaid at my granddaughter's wedding.
And what did it mean to you to be a bridesmaid on that day? How did it make you feel?
It made me feel like $1 million. I was so proud of the invitation, and I was so it was so thought-consuming that I was asked to be a bridesmaid by my granddaughter. And I felt that it was an indication to many other young people that it's okay to have an older member of the family as a bridesmaid. She didn't have to be a girlfriend.
And what was it like to be part of that group of women? Did it make you feel young? Did it make you feel like how did?
Well, I always feel young, so I just felt that I was part of the group. And it was easy. We didn't have hard work to do, just to be there and be dressed appropriately, and just to be a member of the wedding party, which was very thrilling. A wedding is a wonderful occasion, and it was just so great to be part of it.
Now, lots of times bridesmaids, their duties are like to plan the bachelorette party and do crazy stuff. Did you have any duties like that?
No, because Jenny did not have a bachelorette party. She preferred to have everything at the wedding that she needed to be done. She didn't feel, and since she lived out of town, it was hard to coordinate a party because she had a few of the bridesmaids came from New York. And unfortunately there was a snowstorm and flight delays, so one group rented a car. They got as far as Chicago. They rented a car and they drove the rest of the way. So that was quite something also to see how people feel about Jenny.
And she told me in the email she had talked about how the few days leading up before the wedding, she spent a lot of time with you.
Yes,
can you talk about
because
that?
I stayed at her mother's house, and she was there also because she had come in from Michigan. So I was there and she was there, so we had a lot of time to coordinate with each other and talk to each other, and it was nice because unfortunately her other grandmother had just recently passed away, so she had a grandmother there.
And can you talk about, did you give her advice, and what kind of advice did you give her?
Yes, I said to her, your answer to John, her future husband, should be, yes, dear.
And can you just say sort of in a full sentence, like the advice I gave her about getting married is?
The advice I gave her to be married was to consider what John was desiring and thinking, and one of her answers should be, yes, dear, if you would like that, that's fine. And then you would just go on to do things that you thought should be done. And I think that would be a way to go. And also to keep it simple. Keep your life simple. Don't let it get complicated.
And wait, so do you mean to say, when you just said to tell him to say yes, dear, to him, and then do it a different way anyway?
No,
Is that what
no,
you're
no.
saying?
Then that would help pave the way to your doing other things that you would like to do. Not to contradict, and trying to keep the closeness going the way you feel now about him and to him.
And can you talk about your marriage and your relationship?
Yes, my marriage was wonderful, 62 years. We I don't remember and the things that we disagreed on was air conditioning in the summer and heat in the winter. But otherwise, Milton was easygoing. He loved the children. He gave them good advice, and I think they all looked forward to seeing him and to hearing what he had to say. And since we were always in finances, he was able to instill in them a way of extending their finances and saving for the future.
And how was your wedding different from Jenny's wedding?
Well, I think my wedding just encompassed a rabbi and my immediate family and a few aunts and uncles and cousins. Not too many friends. It was a small wedding, and I guess financially that was the best that my parents could do, which was fine with me because I like to keep a low profile.
I heard that you were kind of saying on that, she said you were kind of a scene stealer at the wedding.
At her wedding?
Yeah.
Well, I guess when they saw me dancing with John's father, who was on crutches, and, you know, doing the cute dances that they do today, which I usually don't do, I just tried to follow the crowd and be part of them. But Jenny made it very easy for me to, I didn't mean to steal any scenes. I thought it was her grand awakening.
And can you just fill in the blank, like when I was walking down the aisle at Jenny's wedding, I felt that...
At Jenny's wedding, I felt like her friend of 25.